Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving into a developing story that has shaken up one of South Africa's newest and loudest political formations, Africa Mayibuye. The movement, led by Floyd Shivambu after his dramatic breakaway from the EFF, is already facing an internal storm, barely months after it began making headlines. What was supposed to be a fresh start in the South African political landscape is now looking more like a game of musical chairs, with leaders resigning, factions sharpening their knives, and loyalties shifting back to the familiar fold of Jacob Zuma's camp. The big headline this week is the resignation of Sandile Manana. For those who don't know, Manana was once a prominent figure within the MK Party Zuma Youth League. His political career has long been tied to Zuma-aligned projects, and his decision to walk out of Africa Mayibuye to rejoin what some are calling the Zuma enterprise is sending waves through the party ranks. It is not just about one man leaving. Manana's move exposes the deep fractures inside Africa Mayibuye, a party already battling accusations that its leadership has become more obsessed with fighting old enemies than building a credible new platform. Now, let's unpack this a little deeper. According to sources, Manana is part of what's been described as the Vusi Faction. This group has grown increasingly frustrated with Floyd Shivambu's leadership, accusing him of turning the party into a personal kingdom. Some even call it his fiefdom. Their main gripe? Floyd's continued fixation with the EFF. Remember, Shivambu's split from Julius Malema was supposed to mark a new era, a clean break. But critics say Floyd simply cannot let go of his rivalry with Malema, and instead of building a new home for disillusioned young radicals, he is stuck shadowboxing with his former comrades. The Vusi faction sees this as a fatal flaw. They argue that Africa Mayibuye was supposed to position itself as a bold, alternative voice rooted in Zuma's populist tradition, a bridge between disgruntled MK members and younger activists who feel abandoned by the ANC and excluded by the DA. But instead, they claim the party is collapsing into a vanity project, one that risks burning bridges before it even lays foundations. Manana's resignation is particularly significant because it carries symbolic weight. He is not some low-level member. He has a history of mobilizing young people around Zuma's political orbit. His departure signals to other disgruntled leaders that it is possible to break ranks with Floyd and return to the Zuma fold without losing political currency. Already, reports suggest that other leaders within Africa Mayibuye have threatened to resign as well. For now, only Manana has made the leap. And to put it bluntly, commentators are saying he is the only one who has developed the courage, or in the street language some are using, the balls, to defy Floyd's authority openly. Now, here's where the story gets even more entertaining. The internal drama within Mayibuye is being watched closely by Zuma's MK party, which itself is not free of internal tension. For Zuma's loyalists, Manana's return is being spun as a victory, a reminder that the former president's political magnetism still pulls leaders back home. The MK party has faced its own turbulence, with questions about who really holds the reins, Zuma himself, his children, or regional power brokers like Zuma. By welcoming back defectors from Mayibuye, Zuma's camp is not just reinforcing loyalty, but also undermining Floyd Shivambu's claim to be the true heir of radical opposition politics in South Africa. There is also a bigger picture here. What does this exodus, or potential exodus, tell us about South Africa's political culture today? We are witnessing a cycle where new movements break away, capture headlines, attract passionate members, and then implode almost as quickly as they were formed. Remember Cope after the Polokwane split? Remember Memphila Ramphil's A Gang SA? Or the short-lived United Democratic Movement spin-offs? Africa Mayibuye might be heading down that same road if it cannot get its act together. And let's not forget the EFF itself, which has survived because Malema managed to centralize authority and build a cult of personality strong enough to withstand factional storms. Floyd, however, does not seem to have that same command. Some insiders are whispering that Floyd's problem is trust. Many of his closest allies in the EFF turned against him when he launched Mayibuye. Now, within his new movement, even the allies he thought he had are slipping away. The perception is growing that Mayibuye is not about collective leadership but about Floyd's own personal revenge tour against Malema. And while that may satisfy a few, it is hardly enough to sustain a broad political movement in the long run. Of course, we should also add a dash of humor to this whole saga. In South Africa, political breakaways are almost like reality TV seasons. You get a new party, big promises, fiery speeches, the promise of change, and then the backstabbing begins. Before you know it, there's another resignation, another press conference, another leader storming off to rejoin the struggle. It's like watching a telenovela set in Parliament. Only this time, the plot twist is that the Zuma brand remains the safety net. No matter how many parties split off, leaders seem to circle back to Nkandla in the end, almost like its political home base. The real question is, what happens next? If more leaders follow Manana's example, Africa Mayibuye could face an existential crisis before it even takes part in its first major election. If Floyd digs in and refuses to acknowledge the internal dissent, the party risks shrinking into a personal platform with little electoral credibility. On the other hand, if Zuma continues to scoop up defectors, it could boost the MK party's momentum heading into upcoming by-elections and the bigger contests on the horizon. So, in summary, Sandile Manana's resignation is more than just one leader walking away. It is a signal that Africa Mayibuye's cracks are widening, that Floyd Shivambu's leadership is under siege, and that Zuma's gravitational pull remains powerful in South African politics. It also shows how fragile new political movements can be, especially when they are built more on personality clashes than on sustainable vision. What do you think about all this? Is Floyd losing control of Africa Mayibuye before it even gets off the ground? Does Zuma remain the ultimate kingmaker in South African opposition politics? Or are we just watching another round of political theater that will fade before 2026? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button if you found this breakdown useful, subscribe to the channel for more in-depth political commentary, and share this video with your friends so they can join the discussion. That's all for today's episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, see you next time.